a mixed fraction comes from an improper fraction. A mixed fraction comes from an improper fraction. How do we convert a mixed fraction to an improper fraction?
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
Teacher, you said on proper fractions that a numerator is greater than the denominator. Even on improper fractions, a numerator is also greater than the denominator.
Okay, let me see. These are fractions where the numerator is greater than the denominator. This one is supposed to be. Thank you for the correction. I think it was just an oversight. A proper fraction, the numerator is less. We shall change this to less when we are taking notes. This one is less. I think it is clear now. A proper fraction is where the numerator is less than the denominator. So we were looking at how we can convert a mixed fraction to an improper fraction. For example, if we have 2 and 5 out of 6, we want to convert it to a mixed fraction. We are saying the formula, you get the whole number, you multiply it by the denominator, then you add the numerator, and the whole answer you divide it by the denominator. For example, 2 whole number and 5 out of 6. If we convert it to a mixed fraction, we get 2 times 6 plus 5, and you divide everything by 6. 2 times 6 here is 12, and when you add 5, it becomes 17 out of 6. So when you have a mixed fraction and you change it to a single fraction, you always get an improper fraction. So if we have 1 and 2 out of 3, becomes 1 times 3 plus 2 divided by 3, and the answer is 5 out of 3. Simple as that. Then if you have if you want to convert an improper fraction to a mixed fraction, it becomes, you can use long division, and it becomes 17 divided by 6, and the answer is 2. But there is a remainder. So if you get 2, you multiply it by 6, you get 12, and 17 minus 12, you get 5, and it gives you 2 whole number, and the remainder, which is 5 out of 6. So this is the mixed fraction. This is the mixed fraction. In other words, when you convert an improper fraction to a mixed fraction, this part of the fraction here will always be the remainder. This one, which is the numerator, will always be the remainder. Now let us move on.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
I have not understood that part.
You have not understood this part. This is rows.
Yes.
This is rows, yeah? Okay. Now, if you have 17 out of 6, and you are converting it to, because this is an improper fraction, yeah? You see, yes, in primary, we used to tell you that having a fraction where the numerator is greater than the denominator is not allowed, because this is an improper fraction. Though sometimes for us in secondary we shall allow it sometimes, but if you have 17 out of 6 and you want to convert it to a mixed fraction, you can try using long division. when you get 17
Mm.
and divide by 6,
Yes.
it does not go in, but it will give you 2 and a remainder.
5.
Because 2 times 6 is 12. So it will give you 2
Yes.
and a remainder. So you first write that 2 as the answer, then you get 2 times 6. 2 times 6, which is 12, and you subtract it from 17 to get the remainder. You subtract it from 17 to get the remainder. So the remainder is 5. Get me? So the mixed fraction becomes
Yes.
2 whole number, which is this, and 5 out of 6. 2 whole number and 5 out of 6. So I was telling you that 5 is the remainder. 5 is the remainder which remained after subtracting 12 from 17.
Yes.
It is clear to you now.
Yes.
So I want us to look at arrangement of fractions. Arrangement of fractions. Now, fractions can be arranged in either ascending order or descending order. Ascending order is the arrangement of fractions starting from the smallest, that is ascending. Then descending order is arrangement whereby you start with the biggest going to the smallest. Now, in both cases, whether you are arranging fractions in ascending order or descending order, what you do, you first get the LCM of the denominators. First get the LCM of the denominators. For example, I have my fraction here as 2 out of 5, 3 out of 8, 6 out of 13, and 4 out of 5. I want you to pay attention here because this is the only example I have. If you are arranging these fractions in ascending order, that's what the question is saying. In other words, you are supposed to start with the smallest, going to the biggest. What you do, you first find the LCM of the denominators, and the denominators are 5. This is 5, by the way. It is not 6. This is 5. The denominators are 2 out of 5. Okay, the denominators are 5, 8, 13, and 5 again. So I can find the LCM of these denominators, which I'm doing here. See, I put in by 2, I got by 2. When you are looking for LCM, if 5 is not divisible by 2, you write it again. So by 2, this is 5, this is 4, 5, and 13. But 2 can still go in for 14. So by 2, I get 5, I get 2, I get 5, I get 13. So by 2 again, 2 can go in, I get 5, I'll get 5 by 2. From here, I get 5, 1, 5, 13. Now I put in by 5. I get 1 here, 1 here, 1, and 13. So from your calculators, you realize that if I have 13 and put it in here, becomes 1, 1. And you realize that when I multiply, I get 520. If you have, I told you to come with your calculators so you can confirm that. 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 13. Please stop making mistakes on such questions. Senior one, you are supposed to have a calculator. Talk to your parents to buy for you calculators. Stop doing things from your head. That one is not going to work in secondary. Get a calculator and multiply the things properly and make sure that you are on the right track. So if having gotten my LCM, I multiply it on every fraction because I know it will cancel with the denominator. When I multiplied it here, 2 out of 5 times 520. What you can do from your calculator, 82 times 520, and you divide the answer by 5. Here I got 208. Then here I got 195. I got 240, and I got 416. Now, what does that mean? It means that I can now arrange my fractions having multiplied by the LCM. So what is the smallest fraction? Because we are arranging in ascending order from smallest to biggest. The smallest fraction here that gave the lowest number is 3 out of 8. And here it is the smallest, followed by 208, and the corresponding fraction is 2 out of 5. You can see it there. The corresponding fraction becomes the one that gave us 240, and it is 6 out of 13. You can see it there, and it will be followed by the one that gave us 416, which is 4 out of 5. Please, when I ask, I want to see all this working in your book. See, some of you are very lazy. You just use a calculator, or you just multiply your things anyhow, and you just write your fraction. This time I will not give you my marks. I will not give you my marks. So it is better you first get the LCM. And multiply properly in this same way that I have done. So from here, I will expect you to do the assignment. Maybe if there is a question from you, I can gladly take it. This is going to be our assignment for today. There are 3 questions, and I don't want the work postponed because we still have time remaining, because our lesson is supposed to end at 10:30. You have to use the remaining time to do the assignment and hand in. Why do you take the work to tomorrow? What are you going to do? So do this work. I'm leaving even time for those of you who failed to first begin with the corrections and correct everything, because the corrections are here. I'm going to send you all this work the way it is. These are the corrections, and you write these notes on fractions and you do the assignment. That's the work you have to do in the remaining time. Yes, there was a question. Rose.
Teacher. Why do we have to use the denominators, not the numerators?
Why? Because when you multiply, the numerators are not affected. You see, actually, soon we are going to look at it. When you multiply fraction by a whole number, the numerator, because this one is now the same as 520 over 1. So what you are multiplying, this 520 can only cancel with the denominator, but it cannot cancel with the numerator. That's the only reason. Okay? It can only cancel with the denominator, which is 5, but it cannot cancel with the numerator. I think I've answered you.
Yes.
Gloria.
Yes.
Gloria.